Oh, what the heck?
Hey,
Hey, we're live,
hey,
Jeff.
man, I
We're
didn't know we were
live.
going live. What's up with that? Holy
Going
cow!
live. Sitting back
Yeah,
enjoying
just
that
like
lemon
that,
tree. Next thing you know,
man.
boom,
I was reading
live.
about how best to take care of a lemon tree. Apparently, it's just to let it sit over there in the back corner. Who knew?
Well, I haven't seen a lemon drop yet, so we're
Ha
in good
ha
shape, I
ha!
think.
There's no lemon drops. Those are just a lemon tree.
It's a lemon
Meh.
tree, Jeff.
It's a lemon tree. So
Or a
what
little
is
lemon.
up? Holy cow, man! What a great day. You know what we're going to talk about today?
Everything.
Everything, everything. I was thinking of starting out. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about cryptocurrency.
Nah, why not? Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe we'll talk a little bit about crypto being the global currency. Maybe we'll talk a
Yes.
little bit about mass adoption of
Boom.
blockchain and digital assets globally. What do you think?
I say right here, this is what we want to know right here. Tina Hall said it. When moon.
Man, you know what? I think we're going to talk about it
Hang on to your seats because it's coming.
right now.
No, not now, Jeff.
Boom.
Let me do my dissertation first.
Oh, come on.
We're
All
not we're
right.
not ready quite yet.
All right.
It's coming. I want you to hang out there. I want you to be prepared. I want you to think about what's happening. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though, right? And when is it coming, Jeff?
I don't know. Maybe right
Um,
now.
Welcome to On the Chain with Jeff and Chip.
and we're
There we
back.
go. That was it.
Boom,
Man, what
extreme
a
close up, extreme close up.
my man. Whoa, that's distracting. What a great show. That was awesome. Man, thank you for joining us tonight. I want to shout a few people out because you know what? That's what this is all about. It's about the XRP, the OTC on the chain community. And you know, and number one in the stream in the chat tonight was none other than Connie. And you know what?
Boom.
Connie has been such a great support, one of the original mods to really help support the on the chain community, and we really appreciate everything that she does.
OG.
There we
She's an
go.
she's an OG, and let's do that. Boom, right there. Enter stream chat. Please hit that. And that's where she is right there. Bam.
Just like
Got
that.
Patrick Young. His middle name is Bernie. We have Crypto Insomniac. Hey, the guys. Fab's in here. Tina
Tina
Hall, of
Hall,
course. Woohoo.
Venture.
Where's
Yo, what's up,
Venture?
bruh?
Texas
Bruh,
XRP.
bruh,
Papa
bruh,
Huddle. We know
XRP.
Papa Huddle.
Oh, where's
Papa
Papa
Huddle's
Huddle?
in here. Boom, right
Papa
there.
Huddle's in here.
Papa
Papa
Huddle's in
Huddle,
here. Boom.
man, how
What a
great is it
special
to
night.
see Papa Huddle here? Love
That's
it.
awesome. Yeah. And then we got
Yeah, man.
XRP OG. Sorry, that's Connie. But anyway, let's go. Patrick is in here. Who else? Evol's in here, laying
Nice.
down some exciting questions here and there. Texas,
There we go.
Texas XRP. We got
Richter, what's
Bruh.
up?
Yeah,
There
they're
we
all in here,
go.
man.
Man, everybody's Sahar's in here, man. I think since everybody's here, we
Making
can get
lemonade out of
started.
lemons.
Making lemonade out of lemons. Who saw that video? That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was a good one. Look at that right
That was
there.
a good one.
Venture says it. He's down with OTC.
That's
I'll just say
right.
XRP, but we're down with XRP as well. We know that.
That's it, man. So Chip, what was going on today? Anything? Any kind of news?
Not really,
Anything that
no.
we want to
Oh
talk about
man.
today?
Well, there's a
Nothing.
lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on today. I mean, I have to say that, man, we found so much going on in the space. I mean, I don't even know where to really start, but I guess we could jump into it. Well, look at SBI, for example. SBI has these plans to have ATMs powered by Ripple Tech. Pretty exciting. I know this has been floating around for a while, but Japan is on top of it, Jeff. I mean, they're really moving the ball forward, as they say.
Japan's on fire. You know, I mean, as we look around the world, and there's little inklings of this news that just keep popping up every single day, where you're starting to see global adoption of crypto. You start seeing the normalization of crypto, and it's happening at the bank level, it's happening at the government level, but nothing is really at the point right now where we're seeing Japan's adoption into the digital asset, into the crypto space, man, that first point that you're making with SBI rolling out these ATMs, man, I think it's significant. They're talking about utilizing Ripple technology. Does that have everything to do with digital asset? Are they utilizing DLT? Yes, but what is that actually? It's more symbolic. There's so much more to it because it's the adoption and the acceptance of the blockchain technology, the DLT technology, but then the normalization of the utilization of cryptocurrency.
Oh, exactly. And it's like the news that's just popping off like left and right. Like, how often do you see a story like this? You talk about your video. You made an awesome video earlier on the other channel. Guys, there's a link down below to the other channel if you're new here. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Consider subscribing and liking. And if you're returning, man, let me give you a hug. Okay, let me give you a hug because I want to say thank you too. But here's the story you don't see very often. Talk about lemons and lemonade. COVID-19 may just be the best thing to have happened to the blockchain industry. You don't see stuff like that every day. So they're talking, I mean, this whole article talks about how blockchain itself and supply chains and everything else could best be, and this is really what our whole theme is tonight, to talk about the adoption, how crypto is the new global currency, plays perfectly into that.
That's right, man. It's really amazing. I mean, one of the things that you brought up the other day was also how the Ukraine was running a pilot program. We've seen so many countries that have begun to run pilot programs for the adoption of crypto, of digital asset, of a digital currency, of a central bank digital currency, and it's happening everywhere. Remember, I don't know, in the past year, we're focused mostly on like Bermuda. Bermuda was rapidly moving in that direction and adopting and becoming a sandbox, for all the development in the blockchain crypto space. We saw the Marshall Islands, but now it's booming everywhere. We're starting to see countries all over the world that are starting to talk about this.
And when you said the word Bermuda, I wanted to say Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you. It's just like every time everything's a song in my head, Jeff. I wish I could get rid of that. Like, everybody hears voices. I hear songs all the time. It's like Bermuda, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you. And it's like, and I'm not going to do the whole song, but you know who sang that song, right, Jeff?
I think that might have had something to do with the beach.
The beach, yeah, as in the Beach Boys. And the Beach Boys, that's right. It was the Beach Boys. By the way, not to name drop or anything, but it was my second concert that I ever saw, and I think you know the first one because I think we've talked about it ad nauseum. But go ahead, drop it. Who's the first concert?
Johnny Cash.
Damn straight it was. Johnny Cash, Man in Black.
Johnny Cash.
What a great thing to see when you're a kid,
That's it. So, man, you talk about Japan, you talk about what they're doing with ATMs, but now there's also some new laws that have come into effect over in Japan. For the normalization of the crypto space, so it's interesting, but at the same time, this is just like one thing drops after another. So this is where, we're really beginning to see mainstream and Main Street becoming more normalized into this space. But Japan's top credit card issuer is now building a blockchain payments system as well. And they're not alone, because as Japan's top credit card issuer is building, and I think they referred to it as JCB. I'm looking here on an article that came up on Cointelegraph. So JCB, and they're partnering with Tech Fund to create a blockchain transaction system. Now it's interesting because there's Japan doing that, but guess who else is getting closer to moving and supporting cryptocurrency, but Visa. What do you think about that? What do you think about Visa moving in that direction?
Well, I think everybody's moving. I think it really is like a land grab. If you remember, it really is reminiscent so much of what happened in the dot-com era. Fortunately, I'm old enough to remember that dot-com era because I remember telling a friend, and it wasn't a too dissimilar conversation. Hey, what are you up to now? Hey, I'm building websites. Gets a weird look on his face. Websites? Yeah. Are you talking about this internet thing? Yeah. Isn't it a fad? No. And I go off about, you'll be able to do banking, you'll be able to buy stuff, you'll be able to do everything on the internet. He's like, yeah, good luck with that. And this was in its infancy. This is right around 1995, right? So it was a big laugh, ha ha ha, you know. And then funny thing is, got into cryptocurrency. I was like, hey man, have you heard about Bitcoin? Hey man, have you heard about XRP? And you know, people are like, oh geez, look at the time, man. I gotta go run off and do something. So you saw Visa. Now, do you remember it was not too long ago yet? Visa and MasterCard were vying for a XRP partner over in the UK. They were vying for this. They were both kind of outbidding each other because they wanted a piece of it. And so when you think about that, I have to go with the idea that this stuff that we're seeing out there, they're deep into it, right? So look at IBM, look at Visa, look at MasterCard. It's right now, you look at what we're talking about the global currency. The global currency is pretty clear to me, Jeff. It's digital assets. It's Bitcoin, it's XRP, it's Ether, it's, you know, you name it. There's thousands of them, and the use cases are growing on a daily basis where you can buy stuff. Let's talk about that for a second. Where is that going as far as now? You remember, if you look back 5 years ago, what could you actually buy with Bitcoin? Well, we know a guy that bought a pizza, and today it would have been worth $88 million. But back in the day, he bought two pepperoni pizzas, right?
You know, it depends. I mean, if you're at the bar all night, you might be willing to pay $88 million for a pizza. Especially if there's a long line. It all depends.
It
depends on the mood that you're in. Y'all want to say what's up to Dan? We haven't seen Dan, the XRP man, on for a while. So what is up, Dan? And then we had the XRP hodler for life also bounced in here while we were talking. So
I want to bring up a good point here. So look, Samantha the Beaten 19. She says, hey, Christine Lagarde said it was in Bitcoin. You remember that? Why wasn't it Bitcoin? You remember what that reason was? Too slow, not gonna, transactional stuff.
Too expensive.
It's not too expensive. Somebody else put something in there. Sorry if I missed it, but the transaction fees, they're gonna start going up. I mean, if you think about a miner, it was already not that profitable. Now, as you see Bitcoin inching up, they got to raise transaction fees. Let's face it, you can't raise the transaction fees enough to cover the electricity.
No, that sucks.
Yeah.
BTC sucks. I was reading that off the screen. But that's true. You know, it's interesting too, because we just went through the Bitcoin halving, so we had some changes in the Bitcoin space. There's some expectation that they're going to see, other changes, moving forward. What is interesting though, across the board with the valuation of digital asset, I think we talked about this before, but if you go back to the beginning, right, you go back to 2010, 2011, 2012, when digital asset was still in its infancy, Bitcoin was still in its infancy. And then you fast forward, 10 years to now, and you see the difference. I mean, it's amazing because it came from something that, computer geeks, would play with. People were talking about, like you just said, buying a pizza with Bitcoin. Oh, it's so novel. I'm going to go spend whatever 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza. Look, I bought a pizza with digital cash that I mined, on my computer. Yeah. And it was so novel and different. Fast forward 10 years, and now we have governments, that are making these big decisions over digital asset, cryptocurrency. We're talking about in 10 years. Yeah. I mean, it's so monumental. What's up, Tony? Man, it's great. Always great to see you thinking crypto, joining up over here.
Yeah, let's just say that Tony's crushed. Tony's been crushing it with these interviews. These are some big gets he's getting. If you guys don't know his channel, I don't see how you could not know his channel. But he's one of the premier YouTubers in the space. Tony, always great to have you drop by. I want to also shout out to Zhao's in here as well. Sahar says BTC is analog, XRP is digital. It's kind of like the Matrix. I always had a problem with the Matrix, Jeff, because the whole thing was a digital movie, yet they had to go to back in the day an analog phone to make the call, and I'm like, okay, you lost me there. I know it's real technical, but again, you had to use an analog phone to make a digital jump. Didn't make any sense to me. So sometimes this suspension of disbelief. Pomp says Bitcoin 100,000 by the end of year 2021. I think it's possible.
I missed that.
I'm not going to rule it out.
Anything's possible. And Chico was talking about the R3 engineers are all disappointed. Why are they disappointed? Upset due to being bought out by Ripple?
Well, that's as far as I know, that's not a that's
Yeah,
not
I don't.
confirmed. Well,
Yeah, I don't
Chico
think that was
Crypto's always mad
confirmed.
about something. By the way, one of the greatest things, and I have to see if I can find it. Chico Crypto was invited on a stream. I don't know if you saw this, Jeff. This was one of those big BTC streams last week, and he gets on there, and the first thing everybody, all the BTC, maxis, start hammering him, just like going after him personally, and he starts yelling the F word, and they basically had to chase him out of there. He basically insulted everybody on there and said, "I don't give a crap about any of you," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, you're not making any friends at all. So Chico is like not doing anybody a favor. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Chico's teenage angst, yeah, except for the fact that he's about 32 years old. It's like, that stuff where anarchy in the UK,
That's right.
But unfortunately, XRP holder for life's here. One day, check this one out. BT custody transfer will be more clunky and expensive than gold. You never know, man. I mean, again, that's also possible, right?
Anything's possible.
Good option.
I mean, it's crazy, man. So all right. So imagine as we're moving into this space right now, what do you think? 10 years, right? 10 years have gone by, and now, as it happens with computer technology, we know that you get to a certain point and everything starts advancing exponentially.
Exactly.
What is the rate of advancement at this stage with the digital assets, with cryptocurrency, in terms of mainstream adoption? To me, it seems like, we're talking about, we go from, somebody's, bedroom where they're, mining cryptocurrency, as they're playing around with the space, to now where we have, the IMF discussing cryptocurrency. We're talking about countries all around the world, China getting ready to roll out their centralized central bank digital currency. Let's not confuse it with a decentralized cryptocurrency, or something that's completely on the blockchain, which it probably isn't, or all of these others that are sandboxing their own digital currencies, from Sweden to Ukraine to Marshall Islands to Bermuda, and even the U.S. is having conversation now about a digital dollar, or the potential movement to a crypto backed dollar, now that Stellar says that they want to be in the game to build the base currency for the digital dollar. What are your thoughts?
Well, I gotta say, listen, you kind of got me off on a tangent there, so I wanted to go ahead and share my screen here, even though I wanted to share something here because it's something you brought up, and I'm just trying to think of the best way to do that, because now I'm down to 2 screens, and I want to make sure that I'm able to share the screen. But something that you had said about this technology, right, that we're talking about. So let me share this real quick, and let's hit a share screen, and there it is. Bam. Okay. So let's look at this. So this is something you talked about. I did an XRP minute a while back on this, but I wanted to show this to everybody. So let's look at this. So technology adoption in the U.S. households, 1860.
That looks like the last ski slope I skied on. I don't know.
Could have been, man. Listen, the one I was just in Chile in July. So we go on this hard hill, and boom, I wiped out. I'm like, you know what? Let's just chill out, get to the bottom of the hill. It's not crazy,
See that red one that goes straight down? That's the one I would probably go down right there.
Yeah, that's the big. So look at this right here. So this is, we go back to 1860. Look at the flush toilet. In 1860, 1% of households had a flush toilet. Now, it's not that long ago, right? It's 150 years ago. And as you start going, look at the adoption here. 20 years later, only 7% have a flush toilet. So when you look at that, it takes a lot of years to lay the pipe. You get what I'm saying, Jeff? To lay those rails, you got to lay those rails down. And like, if you start following the line up, check this out. As it starts moving up, you start seeing the adoption line move. And look at this. And when you hit 1920, boom, boom, all the way to the stars, right? And you look at some of the other tech, but look at the lines down here, how slow they move. Look at running water. This is another one. Running water, 24% in 1890. Like, we think that everyone's had water and toilets, and this has been going on. This is recent activity in the whole human race here, right? Look at this right here. 1949, electric power, only 93% of households. We didn't start hitting these main curves up here. Well, that's a very good point. I got to tell you, Bra XRP brings up a very good point. What is the adoption on bidets? By the way, we are official Tushy. We do have a Tushy link. We don't have it down below, but yeah, we are proud sponsors of the Tushy. One of the greatest things, $65 you'll ever spend. That's a very good one. So look at the refrigerator, 1981. Still 1% of the U.S. in the world still not using it. This is within the United States, right? But what I wanted to get to were these other ones here. In the year, like right around 1990-ish, look at 1992. Look at this. Look at some of the things. 82% had 20% of households in 1992 had a computer. It's astounding.
20%. 20%.
20%. What did I say?
No, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's 20%, right? Yeah, 20%. And as you see, but now look at the adoption rates here. Once we started hitting 2000, you see what's happening here? Look at this one here. Social media usage, 21%. Bam, 100%. It goes right up there. Boom, 77% by 2018. You start seeing as the technology enters, you start seeing look at how the lines are going up. Now, one of the things they didn't have on this, and this is in a completely other chart, which we don't have to look at now, was the adoption of cryptocurrencies. And man, the lines are moving up, and we're all in the community saying, you know what? It's not moving fast enough. Man, we want it faster. Yeah, I get that. But look what's happened in the last year. Look at 2020, what that's brought.
It's amazing, man. So I'm looking at cryptocurrency. I got in 2017. That was kind of like 1920 for the toilet.
Right.
And then you got people that started back in 10 years ago, and that was like the 1800s. So they were in that period of time for 6-7 years where it just crawled along. And then finally 2017 hits, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it catches that FOMO wave and blows up, and you see Bitcoin, obviously, we're all there to watch it, but Bitcoin hitting that $20,000 mark, that was the awakening moment. But that was the 1920s of the crypto space. And it's impressive because now we're talking about in 3 years, like from the 90s with the computer, 20% adoption, to now. But that just everything with the cryptocurrency space, the timelines have shrunken down. So years are months, decades are years, and it's amazing to see, how fast the adoption is, because really, this all could have been, some game that people played around with, and it could have disappeared and caught no fire whatsoever. But again, we're talking about someone buying pizza as a joke for 10,000 Bitcoin to show that it's actually transactional, to Japan now discussing that they just laid out new laws and regulations for cryptocurrency in 10 years. And it's probably less than that. Well, I don't remember when the pizza was purchased, what year that was, but I'm sure it was right in that time frame.
I'm gonna look at that up.
Probably 10 years ago. That's crazy.
It was early days. I do recall it. What was that? That was famous B coach. So Laszlo Hindsight bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin, 97 million in press time. When did they say it? They didn't tell you when this happened.
97 million. Could you imagine? I mean, I can't, they were, obviously playing around, but could you imagine thinking back and you're like, holy crap, pizza for Bitcoin 2009, XRP hodler for life.
Well, Jeff, it was in 2014, January of 2014. I mean, it's just 6 years ago.
What's that? Oh, that was 10. That was
the purchase was made in 2014. That's what they say.
Okay.
Bought the world's most expensive. Oh, no, sorry. Hang on a second. I'm giving bad. No,
Hodler said 2009.
No, it was 2009.
2009.
It is 2009.
Yeah.
I would say like by the time. So it's 2009. This is the Winky Vosses, the Winkers. They bought the most expensive ticket to space. So this I got mixed up in that. No, you're right. They're 2009 is when it happened.
So here we are. So where in the world are we going to go? 10 years from now. So we know that now things have sped up in the past 3 years. 2017. When I started getting involved in all of this, governments weren't talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, at least not on the surface. They weren't talking about it out loud. Obviously, we know as we get into it, well, whether you can trust them or not, China said that they've been working on theirs for about 6 years. Not sure I really trust that.
I believe it.
But but it could be, that, yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible.
Well, you know
It
why I
definitely
believe
is
it, Jeff?
possible.
Because
Yeah.
China's been working on control since day one. That's their middle name, control and deception. So deception part, you're right. Maybe it wasn't 6 years. Maybe it was last year. Maybe it's 4 months ago. Nobody really knows for sure, right?
No, not after they shut everybody down. But again, they didn't want competition. It's interesting too, if you go country to country over the past couple of years, and even if you see the regulatory changes, because we're not talking about over periods of time. We're talking about, again, what was it, 2018, where India decided to make digital asset illegal, and they started shutting down all the exchanges. And now you fast forward 2 years, and I think they're having second thoughts on that, as they're slowly going to begin to integrate. Now, one of the things that there's always this conflict of interest between what the government tells the people and what the government's actually working on the outside. But how is it that the majority of the cross-border payments were transacted through RippleNet, within India, or at least they were establishing those rails, right? They reported on that a while ago.
Yep.
And so I think but it's interesting too, because the government did come out and they said they support blockchain technology. They just don't support the people having the digital currency. And really what that's more about was always that struggle and the conflict of the governments trying to maintain not just sovereignty of the currency, but really control over the people.
All about control. Check this out. So BZ Comedy Channel says, I'm 2 years in, and the writing is on the wall for me in regards to XRP. How is it these so-called intelligent BTC maxis can't grasp the difference? So I have an idea about why they can't grasp the difference necessarily, is because they don't want to grasp the difference. They want to live in a world where there's one. There can be only one. If you remember the old Highlander, there can be only one. And that was like they would race. And the Highlander show was on in the 90s or whenever that was on. But there can only be one. Yeah, they can only be one, and they have to go out. There was like this fight battle to be like the only one, and they want to live in a world where there's one, and that's fine. But let's say how many stocks they're invested in. You can't have one stock market. The stock market opened today. How'd it do? I don't know. Only Apple's on it. Oh, okay. Like Apple Maxis, Google Maxis, all of that. It's all about choice. I think when you give choice out there and people have a choice. Look, I mean, I'm for this space taking off, okay? And I know that, everyone goes like, when will XRP decouple from BTC? Well, it doesn't matter to me, because when BTC rises, so does XRP, and it's like, a rising tide floats all boats. When the tide is coming in, and everybody's going to go ahead and benefit from, but the long run is all going to come down to utility. I mean, what are your thoughts about who's going to survive this whole sort of tsunami once it hits?
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I mean, I've been a big proponent, like you are, that you can't just have one, because it doesn't make any sense. Like you said, but I believe that there's going to be a lot of fallout, and we're going to see this fallout just as we did in the 90s, with the internet bust of 2000. Whoa. I just got distracted. Look at that. Really appreciate that, Jade. Huge support for On the Chain. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you, Jade. Really appreciate that. Again, great to see you in here. And man, you can't see the sticker, but it's dancing, saying you are amazing. It's doing a dance.
Oh, that's
Jeff.
awesome. I have the
here. See, I have the regular YouTube. I
still don't see it. I got the YouTube on my phone, and it's not dancing.
I got the little chatty poo over here, and it's like it's doing a little dance.
That's
you know what I mean?
Awesome. I love it.
No, it really is. Great. Bam. Thank you so much.
You
awesome.
You can't have maximalism. It doesn't make any sense. It's the space. It's the entire space in general. If it was just Bitcoin, we wouldn't be where we are today with Bitcoin alone. So the BTC maxis really need to wake up and realize that the adoption and the recognition in the mainstream and at the governmental levels wouldn't have been possible. If it wasn't for Ripple, banks wouldn't be transacting and thinking about digital asset and building the rails and the support mechanism and thinking about ODL, whether they're using ODL or not, on-demand liquidity, for those that don't know the acronym that might be in here, but that's utilizing XRP. And so, Ripple is an amazing solution for those that are here that might not know what Ripple Net is all about, is taking on Swift. So to be a Bitcoin maxi means that you're now, not acknowledging the fact that there's all these other amazing projects, smart contracts with Ethereum. Was that Vitalik went to the Bitcoin groups and said, hey, I got this amazing idea. Why don't we do this? And like, no, that'll never work. Nobody wants anything like that. So then he created his own thing. And you know what? Ethereum has been monumentally successful, and smart contracts are probably one of the most, revolutionary aspects at the time of what you can do with digital asset and blockchain, because it opens it up to the financial systems. It opens up, there's so much that gets done with a smart contract. So, and the list goes on and on. But one of the things, Chip, that you and I have talked about a lot is that here we have solutions that, or we have platforms that are solution solving problems, yet there's a lot of solutions out there in the blockchain space that are looking for problems. They didn't come about, right? And so I think that those are the ones that are going to disappear. Those are the ones that are going to fade out, and no one's going to ever know, that they existed again.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think you nailed it pretty much spot on. I mean, when we look at, was too long ago now, I see smart contracts. One of the things, you had Codius, which is an open source, and David Schwartz put out a tweet not too long ago basically saying that, hey, if I wasn't working at Ripple full time, but I'd probably devote more time to it. But then you had Flare come out, and they're developing, and they're moving pretty fast. Now, they were also basically given some seed money by Coil, as Coil's been really blowing up the space. And by the way, I dropped it. You guys got to see the video I'm dropping tomorrow morning. It's pretty amazing. But you think about where this is going, and I think what's happened is I think as a community we become a little complacent. And now let me go on about that. So when I say complacent, it's like we were looking for mass adoption, and now it's like happening so fast, so quick. You can't even follow all the DeFi news that happened today. It would take you a long time. It would take you days to sort through it. The news on Bitcoin, it would be just the price. So it's either up or it's down. That would take you about 7 minutes to process. But because the halving's over, now it's not the beats, the halving, and when you start thinking about the adoption, I'm looking at what Coil's doing. Coil's on fire lately. They're blowing up the space, the Imgur deal. Then, they got they're basically helping monetize the internet. They are going insanely crazy right now, and it's everything we hope for. And we're like, when is there going to be a more expanded use case for XRP? Well, it's happening, man, right before your very eyes. And we pulled so many articles for tonight, we can't get to them, Jeff. We can't even hit them all.
We can't. But you know what? I want to take an intermission break, and I want to talk about.
I want to do intermission music or no? Boom.
There we go. Yeah.
So
Thursday night, we have a very special guest and an amazing video that we're going to have Max on. And if we're lucky, we might get the nut job, my dog, the nut job over here, on with us as well. But no, so Thursday night, check this out. What was it, a week ago? I don't know. We started talking about liquidation in this lending, borrowing environment platforms. We spent a couple of videos talking about it. We talked about what happened with Nexo. We talked about BitTrue. We talked about BitMEX. We talked about was it BitMEX?
Celsius.
We talked about
Cred.
So we talked about Cred. We talked about all these different platforms. We talked about the fact that individuals have been liquidated on these platforms. So anyhow, Thursday we are going to have a great premiere episode with Alex Mashinsky, the CEO of Celsius. So I hope that all of you guys are going to be there. We're rolling that out at 9 p.m. Thursday evening. And then on Friday morning, we're going to drop another episode with Alex on the other channel. So I want to make sure that all of you guys are there. Get the word out. We're going to start putting some stuff out tomorrow. But I think you guys are going to really Love the video that we did with Alex. We kind of dug in there. We wanted to understand, why was it that, what did Celsius do differently than some of these other platforms? Because as we understood it, there weren't really that many liquidations on the Celsius platform, and that's what we're going to talk about on Thursday. So make sure you guys are there, and you guys are going to love it.
That was a good one. That was very well done, and I got to tell you, it's out of all the stuff we've done, and we've interviewed amazing people. I have to tell you that one was a little bit extra special, just because of how he was with his time. But he hit all the questions. Look, we asked him questions, like we hammered him with stuff, and he came out and answered. And then the fact is, he did a 45-minute after show with us.
Oh, the after show, man! That after show, when you're able to spend time with someone that has made billions of dollars, that has created, multiple startups, and we got to spend this time in the after show that was really, awe-inspiring in terms of, what are you going to do with your life? Where is your passion? What can you do with your passion? How can you make your life different? Here's an individual that came out of communism, moved from communism to becoming, one of the wealthiest guys in the United States. That's going to be Friday. Friday, our conversation with Alex was really about personal growth. And what does that really mean? And guys, tune in Thursday night, because we're going to dig into the whole liquidation, lending, borrowing platform, earned interest. What does all that mean? And then Friday morning, when we roll it out on the other platform, it's going to all be about, how do you, introspective, creating and moving yourself forward. So that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, there it is. Boom. Just if you can't see it, Mashinsky is going to be. Sorry, that's the wrong time, Jeff.
That's it. All right, you guys will get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get it. But anyways, it was a lot of fun for us to do. Super exciting. So just to reiterate, 9 p.m. on OTC. It's normally when we do the deep dive, but we actually did a deep dive. We're not calling it deep dive because our interview series is all basically, off the block, on the chain, blockchain. I see some special stuff. And then on the other channel, that's why I want you guys to get down below, subscribe, and you'll get on the other channel, right?
Yep. So, and we've this past week, you guys, it's been a whirlwind. I just want to throw it out there because you guys are awesome. I love the on the chain community because that's what we've been developing that here over time. Yesterday we had a really interesting interview. So I don't mean to sidetrack. Look at that dog. Holy cow! Look at that.
Come on, Max. Chill, buddy.
Come on, Max. What's up, Max?
Say hello, Max.
Look at that face.
That's my buddy Max. Look at that. Boom, Maxie.
That's Buddy McKenzie.
Yeah. Well, the older people, or it's the target dog, whatever you want. Yeah, it's my little buddy. Right? Yeah.
But
anyway, won't leave me alone. Come on,
so I was saying that over the past,
take my whole rig with you, buddy.
Over the past few videos, yesterday we rolled out a really interesting interview with this program, or this protocol. It's called the Tachyon protocol. We had the founder on with us, and his co-founder is actually the founder of Proof of Stake.
Yeah, consensus, proof of stake consensus.
Proof of stake consensus. I mean, you're talking about some guys in this space that are unbelievable. Alex Mashinsky was one of the founders of the Voice over IP. Friday, or when did we roll out? Sunday night, we interviewed the CEO of LBRY. LBRY is a platform not too different than YouTube, but maybe better. I don't know. We need more adoption over on LBRY.
Decentralized.
Decentralized, LBRY. And so this week has been a whirlwind of great information that we're throwing out there. So just really, really happy to be able to do that for everybody. But man, let's get back to it. What else?
Yeah, a bully. That's what he's called, a bully. And funny thing is, Jeff, I take Max around and everybody looks at him and they think one of two things. Hey, that's the dog from Target. Or they think that's a pit bull and I better run. So they get all nervous about it and then they take off. But Target corporate call, they want their mascot back. Yeah, they have to paint that poor Target on the dog's eye too. So
yeah.
But Max.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying he's a good buddy, he's a good little friend, and man, he's with me he will not leave me alone, but sometimes he gets a little bit nervous. He hears activity going out in the other part of the house, and he's like, "Whoa!" He hears noises and goes a little bit nutso. So yeah. So there's that. So Jeff, I mean, let's dig into some of these other stories we had. Now this other one I thought was pretty interesting. Where is it? Oh, here's one. Blockchain is one of the goals of the digital government strategy in Brazil. Boom. Everyone's that want a piece of this. Everybody's
Everybody.
everybody's on the take. And it's like, these are articles that came out in the last 1-2 days. This isn't something that were aggregated over a period of time. It's one of the reasons that when people talk about the global currency, we already have a global currency. It's crypto. That's what it is, cryptocurrency. We already have that. So it's already it's already being used. Now, one of the things they reference in this article is they talk about COVID-19, this whole thing with the pandemic and everything else. And then they start talking about benefits. Digital transformation can lead to new solutions and maybe inconceivable possibilities. So you're just starting to see an uptick in the positive stuff that's coming through. It's the news
amazing.
is starting to become a little more positive because you always read that XRP article. It's like the former, the first investor of Ripple didn't understand the use case. And they're basically talking about Kevin Rose of Twitter fame, who used to run the incubator back for Google back in the day. So they like dig these things out of the woods. They start going through these articles, and it's just a little bit of silliness. But what we know is in store. This community knew early on. We did a research, Jeff. We started looking through stuff, and it was a time we were going through news items. And it's like a little thing, slim pickings, as they say. But man, now the stuff is coming fast and furious.
Slim, man. It's every single day.
Every single day, and it's like
All day.
we're still sitting around going. Now, one of the things I think has changed since you referenced 2017. Back in 2017, we had a lot of speculation. Now, you remember what put XRP over the top and that bull run? Well, the only bull run we know when it went up over $3 was the speculation that it might be someone heard from a friend who knew somebody who once talked to somebody in a restaurant who overheard somebody say it might be on Coinbase. And just based on that speculation, those were the days of wine and roses, speculation, all kinds of giddiness and laughter. And now when it actually showed up on Coinbase, it was like, yes, so what? And I liken it to these UFO tapes that were basically out there. So UFO, we've known about UFOs for years. So the government finally declasses them, and they declassifies them. They throw them out there, and people are like, yeah, so what? No one cared, Jeff. Nobody cared because it kind of already confirms what we already knew. So there's a lot more of that going on. People are a little bit smarter. But one of the things that, and I was talking to this the other day with Crypto Eddie, and one of the things she said, have you noticed all the new people in the space? I don't know if you guys have noticed. There's a lot of new people flooding into Twitter. I see people, when I frequent other people's videos, I go into Tony's video. There's people I've never heard of before, ever heard of, commenting on videos, looking at art, leaving comments. Of course, Connie knows the one person that wants to be our friend. She'll put it in the chat. But there's one person that really wants to be our friend. I'm like, hey, man, some people I got to put a price tag on that. You can't you have to either earn it. You just can't ask for it like that.
That's right. So with all the news, we're talking about all this stuff dropping just today, right? Or at least in the past couple days. So then there's an article here on Cointelegraph where the Bank of Korea is talking about that advances in blockchain are driving banks towards digital currencies. Things are happening so fast that the new technology that's rolling out is a catalyst for all these projects. So it's amazing. So yesterday I was talking a little bit about and kind of inspired by and I kind of thought about this for a long time, what it would take in terms of this Black Swan event right now where we're at from a healthcare perspective. If you wanted to have the best, most advanced healthcare research program ever in existence, you put it on the blockchain and you create it in a shared environment so that you're constantly sorting out data and you have all this data available to everybody. And really, this is a potential outcome of what we've just gone through for the past couple months. But at the same time, what we've just gone through for the past couple months is also shining this beacon on blockchain technology and shining a beacon on the crypto space, because you know what, as we're seeing restaurants shutting down and small mom and pop retail stores that are potentially going out of business because of government, overzealousness. But what we're seeing at the same time is that cryptocurrency projects, blockchain projects are moving to another level.
Yeah, so look at this. I wanted to go to two things. Something really important. The one person that's trying to be our friend is Logan. He's in every one of the things. And all he says is, "Want to be my friend? Want to be my friend?" He's on Jungles. He's everywhere, man. He wants to be my friend. I'm like, maybe for a price I would do that. And GDLT's here. He's on Twitch. He's over at twitch.tv/G_DLT. So that's cool. And by the way, guys, I wanted to let you know too that let's not forget that we are also on. Bam. Let me see that. I'll put this up there like that. We're on Twitch as well, so you can go to On the Chain Live. We're on Twitch.tv as well. We sure are.
Are we
man.
over there?
Hell yeah,
we're streaming on Twitch right now.
Not right now, Jeff, but it's only because we've got we have some demons to work out, so to speak. We are over there, guys. If you're on Twitch, please go follow us over there. I'll drop the link so you can go follow us. We only have 3 followers. We need more followers.
3 followers. That's 3. Okay. If you go to the LBRY, LBRY has been a really cool platform. LBRY automatically, as we upload these videos, and when this video is finished, I don't know how long it takes, it's going to automatically push right over to LBRY. So you can go check out all of our videos on the LBRY platform. And the bonus over there is that you can actually shut your phone off and put it in your pocket and still listen. That's really cool. Check out this Joao. So had some great comments over the past couple of days in our streams, but thinking banks can lay a lot of people off thanks to blockchain innovations. What do you think about that?
Wow, I didn't mean it. I just took a sip of water. It wasn't an intentional cough. Look, banks are going to be around to the very last human on earth. They're not going away. Now they're going to change and modify. Now I laugh at my friends in the UK. He goes, I said, "Where are you headed?" He's like, I'm headed to the bank. And I'm like, "The bank?" I go, "I haven't been inside of a bank in years." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, like, "Dude, I have no reason to go to a bank." He goes, "Well," and he goes, "Oh, look at the queue." He goes, "So look at the queue," and he's like sending me pictures of all these people lined up. This is a couple months ago, and I'm like, "What are you waiting for?" I go, "Can't you do everything on?" "No, I have to drop a check." I'm like, "Can't you do it at the ATM?" "We don't have ATMs." I'm like, "Dude, what?" So it's the craziest thing. Yeah, it's like he said he didn't have ATMs. He's like, he had to drop he's got a business. He had to drop it. And I was like, it's kind of it's just weird to me. I'm like, he couldn't figure out like how to do it. Banks are going to be around. I see that they're going to evolve and change, but something you brought up before, Jeff, which is, will banks look like exchanges? Will exchanges look like banks? Will there be the blurring? And if you look at Coinbase and Gemini getting involved with JP Morgan now for banking, starting to see a little bit of blurred lines there. And I'm not talking about the songs. I'm just talking about there are blurred lines.
There are. And we talk a little bit about that on the interview on Thursday night.
Yeah, we do.
With Alex Mashinsky.
That was very good. Now you can look at so now we can stream Coil payments to you guys on both YT and Twitch. Yeah, right now. So I think we're gonna have to go back. Right now, we're just doing some experimenting with that. We can go to wider places. I think we just had like a mishap on one of the things we were using. But I gotta tell you, you know what? We've been excited here because we see an uptick, and this again, thanks to you guys for being Coil subscribers. Both channels are Coil enabled, right? And it's also enabled over on Twitch. Man, this is like really cool. And you bring up a really good point here, is that monetizing is great, but if you're going to come here and watch something and you have a Coil subscription, you can monetize videos, cool blogs. I mean, there's so many other things. Imgur. So now we're starting to see more of these use cases for $5 or $10 a month. You're streaming payments in the background, which is phenomenal.
That's really cool. It's really amazing, and we're starting to see that that migration or that movement. I would call it more of a movement towards streaming payments. I think there's more and more focus on how do we really capitalize on the changes and advancements in the technology as we're moving into this digital currency space. People are really investing in that, because if we see what, the potential with Coil, streaming with XRP, and then we talked about with Tachyon yesterday and what they're doing, also moving into like a streaming payment solution on their platform, or at least building it as an element. LBRY creating not really streaming payments, but found a way to integrate payments into the solution. There's so much going on.
So here we are in LBRY right here, Jeff. I wanted to show this because I guess let's just show it full screen for a second there. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, does it? No, it's not that much bigger. But so you see right there, there's Jacob Gatkian. We had Jeremy Kaufman there. So if I click on this, basically what happens now, I don't know, you're a creator too in the space. One of the things that's actually pretty cool is that you can, there we go. So there's the beginning part of it. But one of the things they do is really nice is, look at this, check this out. Very clean sort of a layout. All the related sort of videos, has all the links show up right away. Our disclaimer, everything. And they have something called LBC that you can earn, which is a token. And again, as that gains adoption, it's going to be pretty amazing. I mean, going down the pike with it. But I just love what they're doing. And again, this is decentralized. So here's what's not going to happen. We're not going to get to see, as I'm moving around, I can still be watching the video. Hey, when we say something weird and YT doesn't like it, well, guess what? Anything that ends up over on LBRY, it doesn't matter, because we're not going to get deplatformed. We're not going to get demonetized. It's an opportunity for us to grow. This is one of the things I like about, when we were talking to Jeremy Kaufman, it was a really cool sort of a perspective he had. And you guys can go see that. It's in our videos there. But if you want to learn more about some cool tech and hear about these founders, I love these founders too. They just upbeat. Man, what always happens in all the interviews, and this goes to Alex Mashinsky, Jacob Gatkian, Jeremy Kaufman, all of them, they exude this passion. It's like, it's like, you don't go like, how you doing? It's like, yeah, man, it's a job. What do you want, man? What do you want from me? I show up every day and I push the button. No, man, they're like, yeah, it's great, man, and I do this, and and that's what I like. Or they get into the tech and they start explaining it. It's like you can feel, I know we're doing all this physical distancing, but this virtual distancing that we're doing now too. We're all virtual distancing right now, but it's like just flies through. It's like bing, bing. It's like pinging you in the head. This excitement, and man, just being around that kind of energy around creators that are doing something and changing the space. And TCP/IP is slow, and they're reinventing it. That's pretty exciting.
That is. And even last week, talking to the FinNexus guys, it was really cool. Those guys were over in Beijing. And so they're headquartered in Beijing. And incidentally, James yesterday was in Hanoi in Vietnam. And so here we are talking to him, doing a live stream. Last week's live stream with the guys over in Beijing. And one of the guys, they have an American guy working over there, but it was great because we had the CEO on, we had Professor K on, we had all these guys, we had the guys on. You guys watched the video, you saw it. But what's cool about it and the learning moment. So something that, we tried to reach out to in the beginning, with On the Chain and the On the Chain community, is to try to really dig in and learn. We talk a lot about this. We all have to learn from each other, but learning from these guys that are actually creating in the space. And I think about, what Ivan on Tech talks about a lot. You're investing in the space, or you can become a developer and builder in the space. And there's so much, to that, being a builder in the space. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, being a builder in the space, yeah, Ivan on Tech's right. He's like, hey, build, and I'm excited to, watch a video, and a video for learning how to code and blockchain comes on, and it's Ivan on Tech. It's like, that's way more refreshing than, have you seen this check? $40 billion. You can have a slice of it if you listen to me. Like, those flavor videos, I'm like, oh gosh, but because I like creative,
how I did this.
Yeah, and then you got like 40 minutes later, and then drool coming out of the side of your mouth.
I'm gonna tell you in next. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I did it. But first, let me talk about my Mercedes in the driveway and the big pool in my backyard.
Yeah,
and then you can do it too.
You can do it too, and it's like, so it's just hearing crypto ads is kind of a nice thing. Venture says I'd be excited if I had 500,000 XRP too. Well, who wouldn't be, Venture? I mean, I think we all be doing. I'd be doing a major jig right now. I'd be like boom, 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 boom. And one of the things that happens, like, so Jeff always
Is that
laughs.
exactly? Is that how it goes?
Something like that. I don't know. It's a happy jig, I mean, I don't know what it would look like exactly, but I have to say that, we have a guest on when we're waiting. What you guys don't see is there's like little windows below. I mean, I probably should just share this screen so people can see what we see. I don't know if that's interesting to anybody, but is it possible to share the stream? Let me see.
No,
I don't even know
think
if it
so.
is. Let me try it, man.
I don't think it's possible.
Let me try to.
How do you share the screen you're sharing from?
I don't know, Jeff, but I'm going to do it. Oh, it's it creates a window in window thing. That's what it's going to do. Bam. There you go. See?
Oh, look at that.
So it created a picture of a picture of a picture of a picture. But you see these little windows down here? This is what we see whether we're in a stream or not. And the reason I was saying that was because as the music's going, I'm usually dancing in the background, and and whoever's coming on the show is like, they're like trying to see what's going on, and I'm dancing and playing air guitar, and it's just the greatest thing. And Jeff's moving around in the background, and they're just like, what's about to happen? Where the hell are we? Then we get on all serious, like, good afternoon. It's a fantastic pleasure to welcome you to On the Chain, right? And they're like, what is going on?
They have no idea what they're getting into.
And that's the best part of it, really.
And neither do we.
Here's a good question for you, Jeff. Lamart Gourmillion says, how many XRP would be wife changing?
That was who was
I
our?
hope that's a typo. I hope you're not really talking about changing the wife. I'm like,
Who was the? Who was our? Vincent Wilson. Vincent Wilson. That was his big thing.
His 20K.
And then someone
right?
else came out with that statement. Started out with 20,000. Yep.
Yeah, 20,000
XRP will be life changing.
But I don't think that's I don't think that was a typo though. I think they meant to say wife changing. So.
In this case, I'm sure, because
Yeah, it could possibly be. That was funny. What do you guys think about the 20 minimum XRP to have? So the rules have recently changed on that, on the wallet delete. So one of the things that they changed on that, they just finally voted on it last week. So this is one of the newest changes that you can remove 15K and then you use 15 XRP when you have 20. When you get down to 20, because there's tons of wallets out there that have 20 XRP. You can remove 15, but you're going to have to use 5 XRP as a transaction fee. You burn the 5 XRP. So the good news is, you don't get it all back. Right now, something that's exciting is happening on the XRP tip bot. Vin just went ahead and did a deal. Actually, Uphold kind of came to the rescue. Uphold said, "Hey, we'll go ahead and we'll put the wallets over here," and he's transferring everything. So I've already transferred my tip bot balance, and it's already on there. It was a very painless process. Now, if you guys have an XRP tip bot, if you're planning on using it, if you don't have an Uphold account, very easy to set up. You create an Uphold account, and you go and you log in your XRP tip bot, and there's like basically 2 buttons you can do. You click, and you connect your account. And then sometimes it takes a little bit of time because there might be some. It's not the XRP that's taking time. Jeff's laughing at somebody. It's not the XRP that's taking time. It's actually taking time because there's a lot of congestion, and they want to make sure that everything's up to par.
Mice in a wheel that are processing it.
Yeah, hamsters too.
But that 20 minimum XRP, it's interesting. I made a video on that a while ago. It's still relevant to the point where if you want to open up a new wallet, you still have to tie up your 20 XRP. But in this case, in order to open it, you still need to have 20 XRP to actually open up a valid wallet. So I think there's obviously a reason behind that. But there was something else here. Where'd it go? I guess that was it. But here's I like this. This is what I was laughing at. Yeah. Rip Vincent Wilson.
Well, then I'll tell you. Well, here's why though, because Connie said Vincent went from 20K, then 50K, then 100K. He told me times are changing when I complain. So next year it's to be 200K. I don't know. Well, and also you notice that everything dropped too. Yes, that's correct.
So Joe, yes, you still need to tie up your 20 XRP to open the wallet. The difference is you can now delete a wallet. When you delete the wallet, you can actually get 15 back, and they'll burn 5.
Yeah, exactly.
So the question that I always think about is, at the current time it's 20 XRP. That could always be adjusted by a vote of the consensus of the validators. If they vote on it, they can vote to adjust and change it. If they don't, so right now it's 20. So one of the things that I thought about when XRP was moving up at a rapid pace, it went from, relatively inexpensive, and when it hit $1, it was $20. When it hit $3, it was $60 to open up a wallet to tie it up. And at that time, if your XRP is tied up, that's it. You're not getting your 20 back. Now at least you have a mechanism to get it back. It'd be interesting to see how things change in the future. That's a conversation we've discussed before, and one we can obviously have again in the future sometime.
Yeah, and it's been an amendment for a while. It finally just passed. But you know what that tells me is, it tells me that we're gearing up, right? So it's expected. I mean, we all know that XRP, and really to be widely adopted and used, it can't just necessarily be, used at 20 cent, right? It's got to go up in value, and it will rise. I mean, it will go up there.
Yeah, well, it's great, man. Back in those days, everyone used to talk about, a Vincent Wilson. People were, I'm going to buy a Vincent Wilson.
That's what they said. That was their bag they were going to get, and then they were sad when they bought it at $1.47 instead of like, 16 cent, when they could have got it early, or that flash crashed down to 10 point something, then it went right back up to like, I bought along the way, but still it was like it happened so fast and it was there and back so quick. It was just a kind of a weird thing. So guys, just kind of like, I wanted to say that we always appreciate you guys being here. Obviously, Jay, thank you so much for the support of the channel. Connie, G, DLT, Zhao, the rest of you guys, XRP Bags. We can't mention everybody, but we will. Hang on, Jeff. I'll be down in a minute. BZ Comedy Channel, Tina Hall, Serdik Volkanik. Yeah, see Bra, XRP. Chris. And then, of course, Venture, too, who's actually been on the roundtable 3 times. And I told him once he hits his 5 times, he's going to get the official OTC hoodie, On Saturday Night Live, they had the jacket. We're gonna have the OTC hoodie. What's up? See, look at this. I've gone Italian. Which, here's something you don't know about me. I am Italian. You don't know that, but I'm from the north, where they look a little bit more like me a little bit. But yeah, but I'm Italian, Hungarian, and Irish. There you go.
Where they look more like you.
They look more like me. 50. They look more like me. It's a whole bunch of clones.
From the area where they look just like him.
Oh, they really do. They look. You walk around, you're like, they all look like Chip. What's going on, man? That's a weird city. No, my great grandfather, who came over from Italy on a boat. By the way, I got a blog about this story. It's a phenomenal story. But anyway, he came over. He's born in 1899. Came over here when he was 11 years old in 1900. Came over on a boat and was abandoned by his so-called family friend. Didn't speak any English, so that's it. So I was lucky enough to grow up with my great grandfather, and told me all kinds of fun stories. And he had that thick accent. He used to call me a Stevens. I'll get a bottle of beer, and I would run and get him a beer. And about 15 beers in, I had like a bunch of quarters. It was like, flip me a quarter. It was awesome, man.
It was the good old days.
The good old day. Strong jeans. Damn right, strong jeans. Look at that. I got something over me. Yeah, more like you in Switzerland. Too. Yeah, Switzerland too. But listen, there are fair-skinned people up in Italy as well, in the northern section. I got to tell you, like one scratch for Max.
Yeah. Go. Man, awesome.
So there we are, man. Let's. What do you say we put up? Anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. Go to onthechain.io. Onthechain.io.
We started thanking everyone. I thought we were going right back into streaming.
Well, no, because we're gonna start selling things on the chain.io. We'll sell like real cheap cruises and
that's right.
Bidets like tushies and stuff. We'll have tushies on there because you want to go there and get your official tushy. Everyone else is peddling crypto stuff. Not us, Jeff.
No, we're auctioning off. We're auctioning off the cruise boat here, sitting off the port of Miami.
Things for the tushy.
The cruise ship's just sitting there.
And that's it. That's all. That's all I got, Jeff. You got anything?
No, that's it. I think this was awesome. I don't even remember what we talked about tonight, but I think it was fantastic.
It seemed interesting to some, maybe not to others. But anyway,
it was great.
Chip, that's Jeff, and we are out of here.
Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.
Wait a minute.
What?
Why are you still here? Jeff, why are they
Man,
still here?
I don't know. I thought they
I
all
don't know
went
what.
home.
That's
Well, I
weird.
guess they are home.
They're still here.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
man, go home. Go to sleep. Get up. Grab a sandwich. Do something fun.
Bye-bye.